What's the first thing you do when you get in the car?
Honk the horn.
No, why would you honk the horn?
To let the hose know I'm coming.
Hello everyone, so this is the AF dynamic air intake, and so this is the box it comes in. I just got it. This is for the Hyundai Veloster. Mine is a 2016 Rally Edition, so it's a pretty weird one. But anyways, we're gonna get to unboxing this and we're gonna install this and we're gonna see how it looks like afterwards. So I guess we'll start off with the unboxing. And came in this actually decent packaging. I mean, I was kind of surprised. I was expecting this just to come in a blank box, but it actually came with a pretty good box. I mean, look at this. This looks good. Put the knife on the carbon wing. Here we have the parts list, okay, and this is for the box as well. It does come with the box. I can't tell if that's peeling or that's, ooh, that does look like peeling, unfortunately, right there, but it should be all right. Better than nothing. Okay, here we have our tubings, hose clamps. All right, some bolts and nuts. Put that to the side. And here we have the intake, or yeah, the actual filter, I'm sorry. So here we have the filter, and it looks nice. I mean, it's like white, has a black outlining, has another clamp. Feels good, feels good. So the reason I chose this over the engine, or they also had a K&N filter. This was a little cheaper. I decided for this build to not go the cheapest of the cheap, instead going with kind of mid-tier, because I don't really need a race car. But wow, this is actually really nice. It's powder coated. I'm thinking of what, aluminum most likely. Feels really good actually. But no, I'm deciding to go not with the cheapest of the cheap, but instead kind of mid-tier, just so I can, one, have it reliable, but two, still have fun with the car. Oh wow, and this is the rest of the metal for the box. Yeah, I mean, it comes with all the pieces. Everything looks so far so good. And I'm gonna show you how to install this thing, and hopefully it turns out nice. All right, and so before we actually begin, it's best to install the insulation mats on the actual heat shield, the box or whatever. So we're gonna do that one later for the top, but for real quick, all we have to do is connect this part, this weird L looking thingy, and this part, and we're gonna connect it like this. We're gonna use that, and then we're gonna use these with Allen bar heads. T10 is the size for that, so we're gonna go ahead and install this. All right, so after we finish screwing those in, we can just install our little insulation mat. Some people actually like to do cut this up, which I think we'll do that. So we're just gonna cut right here and right there, just so we can have our folds good. All right, so we finished quickly cutting that up. So we're just gonna peel it off, quite literally, and we're going to install our mats just like that.
Boom and boom. We'll try our best to get this on there as nice as possible. Large piece we're going to install right there. Boom. I think that looks good.
To disconnect the negative terminal on our battery and to pop off the engine hood. So to pop off the engine hood, you quite literally just pull up on it a little, wiggle it around, and boom, this will come straight off. Just pulling it off of these little bolts right here. And then we also have to take off or turn on the negative terminal, which is this one. No, I'm just joking. Of course, it's not this one. The negative terminal is right here on the right, so we're just gonna have to unbolt that. Yeah, it's pretty simple. We'll get through that. Anyways, the next step after removing the cover and disconnecting your battery and letting it sit for a second, you're gonna move this clamp, and you're gonna unscrew this. All right, so pretty self-explanatory. And we're just gonna pull, all you do is you pull this down, pull it out. And you should be able to wiggle it fairly loose.
Wiggle that out. We're gonna pull that off the clamp. And we're gonna use a screwdriver. I'm gonna unscrew this. And it should just eventually be loose enough.
Boom, this should be loose enough. So you should actually, as you can see, I can just pull that straight off, but we're gonna hold up on that. And then next, we're gonna pull this off. Two little buttons right here. You literally press. This whole scoop will come clean off, just like that. All right, so the next step will be, after you unscrew this, we're gonna come back all the way back here. Right here where I'm pointing at, we're also gonna unscrew this.
Just like that, it's gonna be another filter actually, sorry. We're gonna unscrew this and then we can remove the entire wiggle. Boom.
So we have that off, and we have this off. And then we have to take this off as well. I forgot to take this off. So we'll take this off, and then we'll remove the entire piece. I was wrong. Leave this on. So it's much easier. I mean, you can remove if you wanted to, but it is much easier if we just leave it on. And I did not realize that to start with, so I do apologize. So we're gonna leave that on there, and we're gonna remove it from here instead. So allow me to do that. Okay, after that little mishap, so we have it removed right here. So we should be able to just remove this entire hosing out, like so. And so we have this turbo scoop, and this thing, the piping is out. So next step, we are going to be removing 3 bolts. You're gonna have your bolt that's right here, the one that's right there, and this one.
Careful not to break anything, or most importantly, drop the bolt, because the last thing we want to do is bring out the magnet. By the way, I do recommend having a really long extension for your ratchet, because that will make things a lot easier. I need a longer one. But regardless, we should be able to just... Let's go and take out this bolt, actually. It feels naked. But we're going to unbolt this.
And I guess I'll come back whenever it's fully removed. All right, so we finally got rid of the original airbox. We're gonna go put this to the side. But next thing we're gonna do is we're going to disconnect this hose right here. All right, now it is recommended to actually remove the charge hose completely, but I'm not even gonna bother with that. I'm just gonna push it down to the side. And our next step will be to unbolt these 2 bolts. Now we're gonna have to keep these 2 bolts right here and right there. We're keeping these 2 bolts because that's where we're gonna connect the mounts for the box. So we're gonna go ahead and unscrew those, and
And then we're gonna unscrew these. Careful not to lose them, because we need them. Very long bolts. Let's pull this one up. Okay.
And I do want to go ahead and say this. This is my first time ever installing anything really on my car. I mean, I've done exhaust work in the past with a friend. He goes by Alex, or Brown Dude Racing, which I definitely leave a link for his channel. He does a lot of cool content with the Saturn Sky Redline, the turbo. His is at like 300 horse or something. It's pretty nutty for a really lightweight little tiny car. And he also has an E60 M5. I think it's the E60 M5, the old school M5s with the V10s. Super cool. He's definitely going to be doing content on that soon. So if you sound interested in that, just go ahead and check him out, and I'll go ahead and leave his link. He's also got me to film myself, so shout out Alex. But anyways, back onto the install. We have those bolts removed, so now we're gonna go get the bracket. We'll get that and install it onto the throttle body with the factory bolts. We're gonna go and install that just like that. Fits beautifully, and we're gonna go ahead and install it straight onto there.
We're not gonna go too tight, but we definitely don't want it to be loose. Alright. Just like that. I don't believe this is going anywhere. Bring this one up just a hair.
Boom. It feels good. And we should be able to move on to the next step, which is to reinstall the charge hose onto the throttle body. Alrighty, so now we have the charge hose on there and going nowhere. We can move on to the next step, which attaching the heat shield mounting bracket onto the heat shield and securing it with some hardware. All right, and the next step is going to be installing the trim for the heat shield. So we do need a measuring tape right here. So right here is going to be the 5-inch piece. Right here will be the 11.5-inch piece. Right here, all the way down here is going to be the 26.5-inch piece, and we'll have that all on there shortly. So let me get that. So now it is getting a little dark, so I do apologize, but we do have to bolt this in. So now after we attach the mounting bracket onto the airbox, now we just attach the airbox onto this. It's pretty dark, and I do apologize. This is my first time ever installing anything really by myself. But our next step is going to be attaching the intake tube. So we are going to mount it from this point right here, this little point. We're gonna have to screw that in there. And then right here, we're gonna have our tube, which we are going to use this right here. Oops. We're gonna have to use this, and we're gonna attach it to there. Like that. We're gonna connect this tube right here and there. And then we're gonna attach that there, and we'll be nearly done. So we cut the pipe just like it told us to, 3 inches. And so what we're gonna do is we're attaching this and then this onto there. So remember, so this right here, we measure 3 inches. So I did a little bit more just because I wanted to make sure it fits. And we use these little clamps right here to attach that. So this will go into there, force feeding more oxygen into there. I would like to apologize about it being pretty dark. It's just taking me longer than it probably should have, and most of you would probably do this a lot faster than me. I'm just trying to get used to, 1, filming, 2, trying to do things on my own with my car, because usually I do go to Brown Dude Racing, and he usually helps me with everything, and he definitely will be on the channel because I will be needing help. But for right now, we're trying to learn ourselves, so I do apologize about the dark, but I hope we can all manage. So now that it's installed, we have it mounted right here, which is a pain, by the way. Do this before you do that. We're going to tighten up the end right there. We're going to add the intake, and then what's left is adding the cover, and then we're done. I've been here for a while trying to figure out what exactly is going on. It turns out I'm actually missing a couple of nuts. So I have the bolts, just not the nuts. So I can't actually install the top cover of this plate. But anyways, what happens is you do install it, and whatnot. I do gotta cut that trim off too. But I am missing some little nuts, so I'm not too worried about it, to be fair. We are officially done with the install, I believe. Really wasn't that hard. More of it was trying to figure out what tools. Get 10mm ratchet and flathead and a Phillips head screwdriver. That's all you really need. But it is installed, and I will be adding that top cover as soon as I figure out what size bolts to use, or nuts, excuse me. But I believe we're all good. Everything feels secure. Nothing feels like it's out of place. So let's go ahead and connect the battery, and we'll hear what it sounds like.